Alrighty, and hi everybody, and welcome back to another big review! Whoa, my goodness! I have been holding on to these guys for a while. I feel a little bit odd. It's been like more than a month since I've last filmed something, but I'm gonna do something big and fun, and it is my Spy Family Prize figure party. Oh, party, woo! Yeah, these are just fun figures that I wanted to get because I love Spy Family. I haven't really liked any of their expensive figures, but they've got a lot of really cute prize figures. I really don't know much about them other than they are SEGA prize figures and that how they look cute. So we're just gonna start with Loid at the end here. Yippee! Everyone else, get out of here! Get out of here! Alright, so first, this is the box. You know, there's nothing crazy going on here. We've got some nice, cool, artistic photos of Loid on the sides. You know, getting all posed up for the nice family photos to put on the wall. That's kind of what all these boxes usually do, is they have, you know, like the logos, all the important stuff, and then they have like just these really artsy looking pictures on the side, which honestly I kind of think are fun. This looks like you would see it on the catalog of a magazine for furniture in a white woman's house, and he is the thing that they would buy to put on the bookshelf. But there is his box. Let's open him up. Ooh, some text on the inside. Don't know what it says. Oh, that's a pretty, I'm not gonna say advanced, but prize figures can have some pretty simple packaging, and to actually see like some plastic poly in here, I expected this to be cardboard, to be honest. So, but he's got a little sleeping bag, and his base has one as well. Connection on these is usually pretty easy. You just match up the pegs. I believe in you guys. But here is Loid getting a nice spin around of him here. I mean, he looks nice, and I won't lie, prize figures aren't like as cheap maybe as they once were because everything gets expensive nowadays because of America. But comparing this to some of the pop figures that I've gotten, first of all, the base is already nicer than I feel like most pop figures are. And pop figures are supposed to be the nicer prize figures. Now, granted, there is some quality stuff that when we get to look a little bit closer, I do think pop figures still have a bit better. But like, considering the pose is very similar to most pop figures, the actual general sculpt, not the quality of the sculpt, but the general sculpt is very similar to pop figures. And again, this is not an ugly base. Pop figure bases are like my least favorite bases. I do not like them. And they recently started changing them again, so they went from the hexagons to some other shape, I think, and it's just annoying because now they don't match. So, but either way, like my initial thought when opening this was like, wow, this looks good, and I've gotten pop figures. It pop-up parade, not pop like Funko Pops, sorry, to clarify, pop-up parades. I've just been saying pop. There's a very clear distinction. That's my bad. Anyways, we're going to take a closer look at him. And before the close-up, I want to get the measurements for you guys, so we'll go here quickly. He is about 8 inches tall, and diameter is 4 inches across. He is a simple guy, but he still looks fantastic. He kind of looks like a frat boy with this figure, but you know what? That's fine. And the expression isn't terrible, all things considered. His nose is a little bit pointy, but it's okay. He's just, you know, he's a sharp man. He's got a sharp nose. What can you say? But the overall expression for his like family mode Loid, I think, is perfect. It's nothing too crazy. Now, the hair is a little bit chunky. While I do like how many strands they put, I mean, the paint is not fantastic. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, it looks so good. It's okay. There's no shading because this is a prize figure. They did at least use 2 different tones of blonde for his hair from the top to the bottom pieces, so that way it does create that little bit of depth for him. But there's some pretty thick strands. They're not very detailed. And then we got this pretty intense seam line from the back of his head to the front of his head, so that's a little bit jarring, but it's whatever. Moving right along, we got his white shirt peeking out, nice plain white, and then his brown sweater. I like that. I like the texture on this. And listen. Yeah. But I do like that they made the sweater just molded because it made that depth without them needing to actually painted nicely. It makes this sweater look nice and thick and chunky, so I really like that a lot. Moving down to his hands. Now, the hands are a little crunchy. I feel like there's some bumps that are not supposed to be there. Hands are usually the part on prize figures that I feel like fall apart the most. So, what are you gonna do? Moving right along to his pants, which actually are the only part of this figure that appear to have any shading at all. He's got 2 tones of brown going on his pants. Ooh, shiny, but you can clearly see on the backs of his pants that the backs are shaded. So they didn't keep that plain, at least. I do think that's a good thing. That brown would have looked really flat if they didn't do any shading. The sculpt overall on this figure is still pretty nice, where I think it adds some of the texture. It is a bit of a shiny paint though, so it looks like he's wearing leather pants, but hey, that's prize figures for you, baby. And his shoes, which actually, I think they do have some shading on these shoes. So I guess for the brown, they weren't skipping extra shading. But his shoes do have some darker colors on the tips and a little bit on the back. Or maybe it was more so that they put white on this little crevice down here underneath the shoelaces. So it's not too flat. And a better look at the base. Nothing crazy. It's pretty simple, but it's not bad, all things considered. Anyways, that's Loid. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so next up, we got Yor. Ooh, also posing up for the family photo in her nice, beautiful photographs. She looks great, you know? It's a nice, simple box. You can't really say much about these prize boxes, guys. They're just really simple. They get the job done. Same as Loid, where she is in her sleeping bag and her bases. Boom, boom. Look at those matching up the pegs. Now we get a nice spin around of the lovely Miss Yor, who looks so elegant, so lovely, a beautiful wife. And she really matches Loid well. But let's look at her closer. Now we gotta get Yor's measurement here. She is probably gonna be similar to Loid, but yeah, 8 inches tall, and then it's gonna be the 4 diameter across. And here is Yor's beautiful face. Now, this face I think is probably suffering the most out of all 6 of them that I've kind of just gotten a glance at, if I'm being honest. I don't think they really did a great job on quality controlling this figure in particular, because her hair is really chunky on these end strands here. I feel like her lipstick is a little brighter than it kind of needs to be. It doesn't fully feel like Yor at certain angles as well. Like this angle is a little off to me for some reason, but like this one I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like Yor. I'm not sure what exactly it is. I think she's suffering from a little bit of like misplacement. So okay, it's cute. It's cute. Her hair is very flat though. I mean, it's just this flat black paint, and it's really thick, as you can see here on these end pieces. Like it is just, oh, and it's really floppy. Oh my god. Whoa. This is a lot of movement. And again, these are prize figures, but I have not seen that much movement for some of these. I mean, I guess I did move Loid's hand a lot earlier too. Oh my gosh, he's holding my hand. Oh my gosh, we're together. Rest in peace, Kasu. Anyways, that's a lot of movement. This is not great plastic. I mean, the nice thing is it probably won't break unless I go super crazy bending it and stuff. Back to what we were saying, her hair is, it's just plain. So even if they just did like a light gray highlight on the top of her, I think that would have helped this a lot. And the sculpt is just okay for the back of her hair. So I do think her sculpt is less interesting than what we saw for Loid's pointy hair. Not to mention her headband is a little funky. I don't think this little blob is supposed to be there. These pieces aren't painted quite as well as what we saw on Loid, especially when you get to this side. I mean, this side is really messy here. So it's not great. Her little shoulders peeking out is nice though. I mean, everyone loves this outfit. I mean, you can already see it. They got the sexy back sticking out. We love that. I do like that they have the little clasp on the back of her sweater here, and her little hand, her little tiny little hand going like, ee. Once again, love the texture on it. Now this red is bright. My camera does not like this red, but it is a very vibrant red in person too. It's probably like the brightest thing in this room, if I'm gonna be honest, at least when it comes to reds. But we got the texture again. very good. Oh, the back of this figure is fantastic. Fantastic. I pose her on the shelf like this. You know, the back of her is looking better than the front of her, let's be honest. Again though, I really do like the knit on, especially on her dress, because she's got like all these folds and stuff. Anyways, down to the very bottom, we've got her black gray leggings. I think there's a little bit of the navy blue in there. Oh, misplaced glue. Don't love that. I don't think I can get that off either, because it's like glue. They do have, I noticed she had some of that on her shoulder up here, but it was a little bit less noticeable, but they've clearly glued pieces of this figure together and did a very bad job of it, so. And look, we got a paint error, and there's like basically no shading on this. There is some, it's just very, very, very slight. It's not nearly as noticeable as what we saw on Loid, but it is darker here, lighter here, a little bit darker there. Her shoes though, they are shaded, and I'm gonna be honest, I think the shoes are part of the cleanest part of this figure, and that's not saying very much. So what are you gonna do? It's price figure, guys. It's Anya. Ooh, wow, Anya. We love Anya. Again, guys, these are simple boxes. Prize figures are easy. They're meant to be prizes that you can win somewhere. But I am a dirty American who buys them online and doesn't play the crazy crane games to lose all my money. Now we must release the Anya. This figure of Anya, I'm gonna say this really quick, she is the most hefty of all the ones that I've been opening. She's got a lot more beef going on, probably because of Bond, but still, so this is the heaviest figure of the 6. There's a lot of cardboard pieces in there. We got a little weird pyramid thing going on. Some bubble wrap. Yeah, Bond is a brick, bro. Plain, ugly white base in a plastic bag. Tail is in a little plastic baggie. Bond is all bubble wrapped up. And get Anya out of her bubble wrap as well. Alright, now obviously there's a little bit more assembly for these guys. So first off, we gotta get Bond's tail on his little booty. You can see there's a defined shape there, so you just match it up. Kind of funky how they go together there. Never really seen a seam built like that. I'm gonna go ahead and attach Bond then to the base though. There is a long peg and a teenier peg. You just match up the long slit to the teeny slit. But I wanted to put him on first just because it'll be a little bit easier to put Anya on. And boom, Anya goes right on top. The spin around for Anya and Bond. So cute. They look great. I can say it a million times, but they do look great. I love the presence that the two of these have together. Now, unfortunately, the base on this one does not match the last two. Again, I don't think these were technically in the same series of figures from SEGA. I just happen to like these ones a lot. So the energy I just liked. But it's cute. It's so expressive. A great figure for both Bond and Anya. So I can't wait to look at it closer with you guys. It's Anya close-up time. Anya, yippee! She is so cute. Now, as I mentioned, I don't think this one was in... I originally got it because I wanted all the ones that were standing up together. But like, that's a pretty tall Anya. I know this isn't a great angle, but you guys get what I'm going for. He's not that tall. There was probably another Anya that I just didn't like as much, and I just decided not to get it. So for Loid and Bond's measurements, they are, I would say, just under 6 inches. The length from the back to the front is just about 7. And then from side to side, about 4.5. We'll take her off first so we can just easily move her around. Her face is fantastic. I mean, there's a little bit of a paint spill on the bottom of her mouth here. It looks like she's been eating food and it's smearing to the outsides of her cheeks, but she is a little kid, so it kind of fits. And it's Anya, and she's a mess. We know that. But still super cute. I love her eyes. They just look so bright. It is kind of getting that, like, the face is slightly off where it's not quite Anya, but it's not nearly as bad as the Yor, so I'll let it slide. Her hair is plain. I do like the shape of it because it's just so bouncy looking. I think it could have been a bit more detailed, and I do think, again, just a little bit of shading would have helped, but hey, that's what happens when you get a prize figure. So her little Her little horns. Very cute. I think the gold on here is not too bad. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it wasn't as egregious as what we saw on so I'll take it. I think it could have been a bit better, but it's Anya, so she's meant to be simple, cute, playful. Her outfit looks good. I mean, Anya's actual school outfit is a bit more complicated than the other two outfits that we just looked at, so the fact that this doesn't look like an absolute mess is great. I like the gold trim. It's mostly staying in the lines. You can see sometimes it goes a little bit out in the back end, but it's not so far over that you're like, ooh, this is bad. She's got all of her little, the other trim portions here too. And it's just probably a basic decal, but it came out pretty well, so I'm not complaining. Her little pointer finger. Ooh, wow, pointing. Her little shoes. Her little shoes. Look at her cute little shoes with the little gold detail on the side too. Bro, Anya, why are your feet so chunky, bro? Look how much her foot's sticking out. I guess it kind of is on this foot, but this one is like, bro, her foot about to slip out of her shoe, dog. Bond is much more simple. He is all white. He has no shading or nothing. He is mostly about his sculpt, which a lot of the seam lines are pretty noticeable. I mean, like, we got the arms and legs, and then obviously the tail was a bit more noticeable. Maybe someone who's stronger could get them closer, but that's as close as I could get it. So he does have different paint on his little toesies, his little peats. Wow, he does have little paw pads. Beep, beep. The peats, the most important part of the animal. What do the peats look like? Oh, peats. I do like, with the way that his neck is sculpted, you can still see how, like, his fur goes over his collar. So I like that you can see, like, the black kind of peek it out in certain angles. So, you know, and plus look at his cute little face. Look at the little Bond face. Ooh. They're kissing. Kiss him, Nathaniel. Bond wants to kiss you. Kiss him! But they're just so cute together. I do love Anya and Bond together. Yippee! And we've circled back to Loid again. Look at him sitting prim and proper. Now, I got these sitting ones because I love sitting figures. I love the ones that sit. I love putting them on the sides of your bookshelves or your anime shelves because they don't take up a lot of space, and they also take up some empty space in front of the shelf. And when you are a hectic collector like I am, these are perfect for filling in those empty, hectic spaces. So getting Loid out of the box. Nice and safe and secure with the bit of shell that he has got. He's only got one piece of plastic for protecting his head, but pretty easy to get him out there. And no assembly because he's a sitting figure. All right, and Loid spinning around on the cryptic trinkets and rock jar. It just works and it's nearby. Okay, guys? He looks great though. This is a fantastic pose for him sitting, you know, very serious, but still like very controlled in how he's sitting, like with his hands crossed and like the way he's got his legs crossed. I really love sitting figures. I can't explain why. I don't get it. I think it's just because it's something different than them standing, which is like probably 90% of figures is them standing. So seeing them sit is just exciting, I guess, question mark. But let's look at him closer. For Loid, now he's a bit weird to measure because he does sit. So from his booty to his head, that is 4 inches. From his shoes to his head, I would say 6.5. From the back of his butt to his shoes is 4 inches. And then from his butt to his knee where it hits the table is 2 inches. From his jacket side to side is also 2 inches. All right, he's ready for his close-up. The Loid. Now his face looks really serious here, and I think because he's got like that bright red lip, it just makes him look a little bit sillier. But I like my sitting figures, so what can I say? His hair's a little flat here. Like it looks like it's smaller than it's supposed to be, his hair. Now granted, this is like slicked back hair, but it's really flat on his head. You know what I mean? But still, it's simple, it's to the point. He's a serious dude, he's a serious guy. His hair, I think the hair on this one is a little bit neater. It's not particularly more detailed. It just, I think it was painted a little bit better. This right here is a little funky. I think some of the paint got messed up on this portion of his head. So don't love that. And this is actually shaded. It's just like a slightly darker brown, but the top of his hair is shaded. So they did try a little bit more. His suit looks good. We got the front here. The red tie with the little emblem on the side, his white little pocket thingy, his vest with the buttons, his jacket with the baton. It looks pretty well. There's a lot of moving pieces for his outfit, so I think it look good. It's not painted spectacularly. Again, there's not really any shading on the actual suit, which is funny because they shaded his hair but they didn't shade his suit, so I don't know why they stopped. There is a pretty distinct mark on this shoulder here, so prize figure, woo! But all these buttons look nice. Like, I mean, again, they're not like, oh, this is so crazy, so amazing, but like they're not painted really ugly or nothing. His gloves, the black gloves, I love the pose for him though. I think that pose is good. However, if you look under his hands here, there's like some schmuck underneath of his arms. They just scratched the figure, or like some glue moved or something, because that is yellow-ish. It seems to be coming off with a little bit of scraping, but not much. I've never seen that before either. It's like, it's not scratched. I think it is indented, so it's not raised. Man, it's just like something really scratched up the plastic there. Gross. Prize figure party. Ooh. Anyways, moving on. His knees. Look at those nice knees. This figure is suffering from the shiny syndrome, but most of these sitting ones I think tend to be a little bit shinier, so you get them because they sit. He's got gray socks peeking out from his little pants. He got the ankles out. His ankles showing. That's kind of scandalous. Black leather shoes with gray bottoms on the bottoms. Wow. A little booty, a little tushy tush. All right, pretty simple figure there, but I love the way he sits, so. And of course, we're back to Yor, also in a beautiful sitting position. Again, look how artsy this photo is. I just think these are just so funny. We love these prize figures. These boxes are a little bit more plain, I feel like, but I still like that they still use these fancy photographs on the side. I just think it's so silly. I don't know. These are less white woman furniture-esque though. These are a little bit more dark, you know what I mean? And there is Yor sitting down. Luckily we don't need the cryptic trinket jar for her. But once again, I love the pose for her. You know, she's still looks elegant, like in a similar way to Loid, but you know, they have her in a different type of sitting position, but she still looks very graceful. And I love the way that her dress flows. So, mwah, beautiful. So for Yor's measurements, we are going at just under 4 inches. From her hand to the end of her skirt here is 4.5. And from the back of her skirt to, from the furthest point here to her knees is just over 3 inches. Now Yor's lovely close-up time. Yippee! I do like this face a little bit more than the other one, but it's still all. I love prize figures, guys. Again, if I had spent a lot of money on these, I'd be upset, but I didn't. So, you know, you know what I mean? I do like the way that her hair on this one for sure looks better. There's a little bit more going on. It's not flying all over the place. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still moving a decent bit. These are still skinny little pieces, but it's not like the other one where it was just flipping backwards. And her headband is painted much neater than the other one. Now, granted, this one was just gold, but still. And she has the braid on the back, which I think is much more interesting, much cuter. Her little double braid. I think the gold rose headband looks pretty good. It's pretty clean, obviously. Yeah, there's still some trail offs here, but for prize figures, not bad. The hair is, again, not shaded. It's particularly shiny, too, especially on these strands here. Like, look how shiny this particular strand is. But hey, what are you gonna do? She's sitting. Her dress, You got the neck collar thingy with the little rose part on it. The rose little bead is a little chunky, but again, that's gonna happen. So, one thing I noticed, her toddies are a little shinier because of how they glued these front straps to her dress. They did a pretty lazy job, if I'm gonna be honest, because there is glue all over these. Now, some people out on the internet are gonna like that. I'm not really here for it. But I still like that you have all of her, just her normal skin peeking out from her dress. This design's just kind of cute in general, even if it is a little bit silly once you start thinking about it. Because it's not very practical for an assassin, if we're gonna be 100% real. But she just wants to look good, and we can't really blame her for that, because damn, she be looking fine. The outside of her dress, the black, is just so plain, guys. Like, I'm glad they sculpted them separately, but I really wish they would have taken the time to put like just a dark black paint on the lining part. I just feel like they would have popped a little bit more if there was at least just a slightly different black going on in between, like just maybe a little bit lighter gray or something. I don't know. The big flare skirt, pretty cool. And her little sockies with her little legs just peeking out. She does have her gloves too, and these are some really simple hands. They're a little crunchy looking, to be honest, but again, prize figure party. I do like the bottom. These kind of figures like this, I always think are so interesting because they'll still put all the rose details and stuff underneath here. And then her shoes, and then they still give her like the red bottom heels. Why they put this much care on the bottom, I don't really know. It is a little crusty once you get into those inner corners here, but you know, it's less insight, so whatever. And if we peek just barely, you can see they do got her in the black panties. We have won today, not plain white. Black is still not much better, if we're gonna be honest, guys, but you know, I'll take it over just the plain white any day, because if you're gonna take the time to paint them, at least put something interesting, I don't know. And last but not least, Anya, wee, with Bond. Super cute. This, we're getting back to the super bright, glowy photos again, but the last box and the last figure for this prize figure party. Woo! Woo! Simple boxes, super fun. Yeehaw. Oh, so cute. First of all, too, I mean, I love the whole family unit, which is why I did get 2 figures, both with Bond and Anya. I didn't just get Anya, because I love them both. So I'm really glad that I did, though, because they just look so cute sitting next to each other. They are made to be together, a girl and her dog. All right, we gotta get Anya free. All right, Anya's kind of hard to release here, but we got her out. Oh, she got cardboard again. Her and Bond just be a lot. Bond is heavy again. You know, we got the cardboard maze inside. And then Anya is in bubble wrap again, and Bond is in bubble wrap again. Look, guys, we got easily assembly again. We got 1, 2. So cute. Now I'm gonna measure these 2 separately. If you do have Anya in Bond's little circle, you don't really need to worry about Anya's measurements. But Bond, from his hand here to his end of his tail here, just under 5 inches. From his snoot to his boot, that is 4.5. He himself is not very tall, and again, if you have them posed together, you wouldn't need to worry about this, but that is just under 3.5. Anya's measurements from side to side, that's going to be 1.5. Gosh, she is teeny tiny. From the boot to the foot, that's 2 inches, and from bottom to top, that is 3 inches. We're now at the last close-up. Oh no, little Anya and Bond. It's kind of hard to hold both of them because they are 2 separate pieces. So we will do Bond really quick because he is easy. Just a little white dog. He is, again, very shiny because he is just plain white. They definitely just molded him with a white plastic and called it a day. So no painting, no shading. He's still got such a cute little face though. Look at his little face. His little bow tie is still peeking out underneath. We have all the beads. All the beads. I love Bond. He's a baby. You just gotta give him a little tweet. Put Bond down in the back. And now, last but not least is Anya. This is for sure the best face of the day. This is like quintessential Anya face, like this happy Anya face. She got the big old eyes, big happy face, cute little blushy cheeks. I love it. Her big thick hair, nice bright bubblegum pink. Also love that. There's a little bit more going on with her hair too. It's not like it's complicated, but they did at least put a little bit more strands of hair. Very cute little horns. Once again, definitely painted better. So this is probably the winning Anya between the two. She's got some scuff marks. There's a little bit of crusty glue up top here, but it's fine. We'll just ignore them. Anyways, cute little shirt. She's got a decent bit of shine on the black there. It's just straight plastic again. Same for like some of these corners here. You can really see where sometimes the plastic just gets really, really shiny and other times it doesn't. Her little teeny hands. Her pose is so precious. She's got such a precious pose. Look at her little shoes. I love Anya. She's so teeny. I'm gonna cry. She's so cute. Wow, okay, Daniel, you like Anya too? Can we get the whole family? Anya! Anya! Because we were at the end, as per usual, we have to see what we'll get. But today we have 2 Anyas as well. So we'll use the power of the Octo Anya to see what we get from the coin machine. Hopefully Cathaniel does not smite us from the other corner of my house. But let's see what Anya gives us today. Oh! Oh my gosh, we're not getting beads anymore, guys. This is amazing. It's not a bead, it's a bow. A bow perfectly sized for our little Anya here. Oh, look at Anya. Our prophecy is not a prophecy at all, or a fortune, or whatever I call them, because I make this up as I go. I'm very professional. It was an accessory made for Anya. The Anya gods see all. The Octo Anyas, both of them. They're so proud of this moment and of our little baby Anyas. Octo Anya says, a bow on the head is worth 2 peanuts in the bush. Thank you. Alrighty guys, and sadly that is the end of our prize figure party. But, you know, obviously these prizes aren't winners. You might have won them in a crane machine somewhere, but they're not the best. I think that I liked a lot of the general poses and expressions that these figures had. I really like the Anya and the Bond ones. Both of those ones honestly were like my top favorite. They're in the first class of this, whereas unfortunately I feel like both the yours just really weren't as good as the Loids. So both yours are the bottom, Loid's in the middle, Anya's on top, because Anya comes with Bond, and I think her expression just translated a little bit better on both of her figures. You win some, you lose some, but hey, at least you didn't spend a lot of money, so there is always that. But I will hopefully eventually post pictures of all of these on my Instagram for figures at Desunasis. I post all of my figure pictures there. So, you know, you should be hopefully seeing me soon. I've got a little bit of a Nendoroid backlog too from my last Nendoroid stream, because whenever I open my Nendoroids, I like to stream them instead. It's a little bit more fun that way. But you can also find me in all these other places as well. I have a personal Instagram and a Patreon where you can support me as well. Videos like these are a lot more fun because you get to see behind the scenes, a lot more kitty cat action, and some of the silly goofy things I did for this video. But you should check them out. I'm just saying, it's only $1. And then if you're real crazy, you can do my next highest tier, which is $3, where I give you a nice lovely little shout out at the end, and my favorite people get a little bit of a moment. So we're gonna take a little bit of time for them really quick. Let the Octo Anyas sing their praises to my favorite people. There's a really fun Discord where we hang out and we chat. You should join that down below where all the other links are as well. And if you enjoyed the video and you got to the end, you should subscribe. subscribe. We're very close to 1,000. I think I said that last time I did a video, but it's true. We're like so close. And I'd love suggestions for what to do for the 1,000 landmark video. So honestly, this probably could have been a good 1,000 video, but I don't know. Give me other suggestions, I guess. It's too late now, so. But anyways, I hope you had a great last week. I hope you have a great next week. And I'll see you guys later.